Magandang araw po sa ating lahat, lalo na ang mga friends natin dyan, mga supporters at subscribers mula Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao at sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. Ako nga po pala si Earl Anthony Durano. Just a quick background of myself. I used to be an associational financial planner for Registered Financial Planner of the Philippines, and I was also a licensed insurance underwriter. And before I ventured on my side hustles, I was a supervisor for a BPO and software company and a banker and credit card specialist for JP Morgan Chase. And now I work as a virtual assistant and a sales and marketing specialist for St. Peter Life Plan. If you know me personally and if you follow my social media accounts, thank you so much. But for those of you who don't, please feel free to follow and check my social media accounts as shown on the screen below. We have YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and my TikTok account. Now, today, we are going to talk about something very important and relevant kasi nga may mga changes na nangyari recently sa St. Peter and we are going to talk about that during this slide presentation. So, for this video, we are going to talk about St. Peter as a company. We're also going to talk about the plans that we are offering, the prices for 2023. We are also going to talk about the features and the benefits, and let's also talk about the value-added benefits. So, quick overview about St. Peter. It has been in the death care industry for over 50 years now. And when we talk about pre-need plan, it's very important to check the Insurance Commission's website. In fact, if you're going to check their website, there's a list of pre-need companies with certificates of authority for licensing for the year 2023. And as of February 28th, 2023, which is over a little over a month ago, St. Peter Life Plan is still one of those companies authorized by Insurance Commission to sell pre-need plans. And this is very important para hindi po tayo maloko. If you want to check more on the Insurance Commission's website, you can visit www.insurance.gov.ph/pre-need-companies/. Okay, so let's start talking about the plans that we have for 2023. For 2023, there are two types of plans. We have traditional and cremation, and we are going to talk about the traditional plans first. Now, as of 2023, we have 6 traditional plans. And as you can see, ito po yung pagkakaiba ng mga caskets that are part of the packages. So depending on the plan that you signed up for, if you want to go for the elegant one, and if you want to make sure that your casket is made out of metal and medyo nakaangat-angat ka sa buhay, then you can definitely go for Saint Anne. The other options are Saint Bernadette, Saint Clair, Saint Dominic, and if you're budget friendly, you want to be practical, then you can opt for Saint Gregory and Saint George. So as you can see on this slide, here's the differences of the caskets for the plans that we offer for the traditional plans. From the caskets, let's now talk about the prices. So as you can see, yung Saint Anne, it has a contract price of 157,500 pesos. Saint Bernadette has a contract price of 125,000 pesos, while Saint Clair, it has a contract price of 98,500 pesos, and Saint Dominic has a contract price of 67,500 pesos. But for uh, most of the clients that I talk to, they want to be practical. So some of them or most of them opted to get Saint Gregory and Saint George, which have 57,000 and 53,000 pesos for the contract prices respectively. Now we're going to talk about each of these plans shortly. Let's talk about Saint Anne first. Yung Saint Anne, it's actually the most expensive amongst the traditional plans because the casket itself is made out of metal, as you can see on the slide. It also has a double top, split and full lid covers, same full glass, elegant interiors, and the price actually ranges between 3,000 to 31,500 pesos depending on your mode of payment. So for all the plans that we have, it's 5 years to pay, and you have an option to pay it on a monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, and annual basis. So from St. Anne, let's now jump to St. Bernadette. As you can see on the slide, ito po yung casket natin. This casket is also made out of metal, single top, and the price ranges from 2,375 pesos monthly to 25,000 pesos annually, and its contract price is 125,000 pesos. Next on the list is Saint Clair. Ito po yung casket. It's still made out of metal, and the price ranges between 1,870 pesos monthly to 19,700 pesos annually, with a contract price of 98,500 pesos. Next up is St. Dominic. The contract price for this plan is 67,500 pesos. Now, this casket, compared to those three that I mentioned, this casket is made out of wood. It also has single top, and the price ranges between 1,285 pesos monthly to 13,500 pesos annually. Pero if you're the budget friendly type, if you want to uh, just be practical, then you can definitely open a St. Gregory plan. This plan has a casket that's made out of metal. It has single top split lid cover, and the price ranges between 1,100 pesos monthly to 11,400 pesos annually, with a contract price of 57,000. And the most affordable amongst the traditional plan is what we call the St. George plan, since the casket is made out of wood, single top din po siya, and the monthly premium is 1,000 pesos. But if you want to go for annual, then its annual premium is 10,600 pesos, and the contract price is 53,000 pesos. Now, from traditional plans, let's now talk about cremation plans. Now, yung traditional, there was a recent price increase. I think it was early last month when they made it effective. But the good news is for the cremation plans, the price is still the same. And we have two types of plans. We have St. James, which means which is cremation before viewing, and then the other plan is St. Jude. Medyo mahal siya kasi nga it has a casket and a marble urn involved. Now for St. Jude, the contract price is 99,000 pesos. Medyo mahal po siya kasi there's viewing involved, which means meron pong casket, and after the viewing, that's when the body will be cremated. Kaya nga, as you can see on the slide, meron po siyang casket and marble urn na kasama. Now, the monthly premium is 1,880 pesos, but it can go as high as 19,800 pesos if you decide to pay it on an annual term. Now, another plan for cremation which is very affordable is tinatawag nating St. James. It's affordable kasi nga no casket involved. It's just automatic cremation. It has a contract price of 66,000 pesos, and the annual premium is 13,200 pesos. Pero if you can't afford to pay it on an annual basis, then you can definitely opt for other options like semi-annual, quarterly, or you can even go for monthly, which is 1,255 pesos. So like I mentioned, traditional, we have 6 plans. For cremation, there are 2 plans as of the moment. Here is a comparison between the 2 cremation plans. Now, like I mentioned, you have an option to pay it on monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, or annual. And the good news is if, let's say, you pay it spot cash, then automatic po na 10% discount that will be given to you. Now, from the plans, let's now talk about the features and benefits. The good news about the St. Peter plans is it's very affordable. And on top of that, part of the package is for traditional plans, may 4 days free na po siya nakasama sa package in case you want to have the viewing done in the St. Peter Chapel. So for traditional, it's 4 days free. For cremation, it's 3 days free. Pero in case you don't want to have the viewing done in our St. Peter chapels, then pwede naman siyang gawin yung viewing dun sa bahay nyo. Automatic po na 9 days free po yung included sa package nyo. Now, aside from those two I mentioned, the beauty about the St. Peter plans is it's assignable and transferable din po siya. Now, the only difference between assignable and transferable is when we say assignable, that means you transfer the plan or you assign it from a living person to a deceased person. So let's say may namatay sa family or may namatay kang kaibigan, you have an option to assign the plan to that person who just passed. And it's not all instances na kailangan mo siyang ilipat just because someone died, because there are also instances na or in some cases na kailangan mong ibenta yung plan mo kasi you need to migrate to another country, and since you cannot use St. Peter in other countries, then pwede mo siyang ibenta, and in that case you have an option to transfer the plan. So from one living person to another living person. There are also instances, we call it the unrendered service, na the beneficiary, they may receive cash value according to a schedule if the memorial service is not performed. So they may opt to retain the plan for the memorial services only. So ito po yung mga features and benefits ng mga plans natin sa St. Peter for both traditional and cremations. Now, on top of the features and benefits, meron din po tayong tinatawag na value-added benefits. Ano po ba yung value-added benefits? So we have 4. The first one is unpaid balance deemed paid. Next is cash benefit. Next is waiver of installment, and the next one is accidental death and dismemberment. And I'm going to explain this in the next few slides. So let's just say for illustration purposes, so for example, the plan holder opted to get a St. Anne plan. The contract price for this is 157,500 pesos. Now, for the cash benefit and unpaid balance deemed paid na benefits, for this to kick in, let's just say, for example, since the paying period is 5 years, let's say namatay si plan holder during the paying period of 5 years. Let's say namatay siya on the 2nd year. So as long as you qualify or you meet the eligibility requirements, which are 18 to 60 years old during the application, tapos namatay yung plan holder after 1 year of contestability period, and namatay yung plan holder between the age of 18 and 65, then automatic po na waived or deemed as fully paid yung plan. Meaning, hindi na po babayaran yung balance as long as you meet the requirements that I mentioned. And on top of that, meron na po siyang cash benefit na kasama. The cash assistance is equivalent to the contract price. And for this plan, St. Anne, the contract price is 157,500 pesos. So this is subject to approval. So as long as na-meet mo yung eligibility requirements, then automatic na may matatanggap na cash assistance yung namatayan. So paano ba if let's say fully paid na yung plan? Since the plan it's fully paid, and let's say namatay yung plan holder like on the 7th year. So for example, namatay yung plan holder and the plan holder was 18 to 60 years old during the application, and namatay yung plan holder between 18 and 65, automatic po na may matatanggap na cash assistance yung family. Again, the cash assistance is equivalent to the contract price. And in this case, since we're talking about St. Anne, the cash assistance is 157,500 pesos. So this is how the cash benefit and the unpaid balance paid works. Again, it's still subject to approval. And it's very important that you comply to all the requirements asked by the chapel or the office, because they will review all the documents to check if you qualify for it. Now, from these two benefits, let's now talk about the waiver of installment. And again, for illustration purposes, let's just stick to the same plan, St. Anne, with a contract price of 157,500 pesos. let's just say na during the paying period of 5 years, may nangyari sa plan holder. Let's say na aksidente. So as long as you meet the eligibility requirements, which is 18 to 60 years old during the application, meaning you're insurable, and there is uninterrupted disability of at least 6 months, and has not reached 60 upon disability, then automatic na waive po yung installment. That's how waiver of installment works. But again, it's still subject to review, so you have to coordinate with your sales agent or the office or the branch that processed your application. So from here, let's now talk about accidental death and dismemberment. So kung kanina pinag-usapan natin is namatay yung plan holder because of natural death, then may matatanggap po yung bereaved family or yung namatayan. But when we talk about accident, it's an entirely different story. So for example, same plan, Saint Anne, yung plan ni plan holder, tapos let's just say during the paying period of 5 years is namatay yung plan holder because of accident. As long as the criteria are met, so 18 to 55 years old during the application, and there's accidental loss of life, loss of both hands, or may accidents na involved, then another requirement that you need to look into is the plan holder has not reached the age of 60 upon death, then may matatanggap po na cash benefit yung uh, either yung plan holder or yung family. And if in case namatay yung plan holder because of accident, automatic po na double yung amount. So from 157,500 pesos, that will definitely be doubled. Yun po yung matatanggap nung bereaved family. So the good news about St. Peter Life Plan is it's anti-inflationary, meaning it's not affected by inflation. Kung sakali man natataas yung presyo ng mga bilihin, you don't need to worry about your St. Peter Life Plan as long as it's in good standing. If you started paying 1,000 pesos monthly and you're in good standing, then automatic po na you will have to pay the same exact amount during the paying period. Now, one of the frequently asked questions is 1 year contestability period. Ano po ba to? When we say contestability period, the cash assistance will only be given if the plan holder is or dies after the 1 year contestability period, especially if we're talking about natural death. Kasi yung iba, tinatanong nila, may parents are parang may tanning na sila, like binigyan sila ng 2 months, 3 months, eh kung sakaling mamatay sila after 2 to 3 months, parang medyo malulugi naman yung St. Peter. So it's very important na lumagpas ka sa 1 year contestability period, especially if namatay yung plan holder because of natural death. Compared to the other companies like life insurance companies, they have 2 years contestability period. But for St. Peter, the beauty is it only has 1 year contestability period. And we are not going to ask for your medical history. So during the application, you just have to fill out the form and then provide us a copy of your ID, and then we submit it to the office. We will not ask about your medical history or medical condition. Okay? Now, another good thing about the St. Peter plan is it has a 5 year installment term. So it's 5 years to pay. And like I mentioned, it's transferable. So in cases na kailangan mo siyang ibenta or kailangan mo migrate sa ibang bansa, since hindi mo siya magagamit sa ibang bansa, then you have the option to sell your St. Peter plan, and that's when transferability feature kicks in. So it's from living person to another living person. So in cases naman na may namatay sa family at yung namatay is wala siyang St. Peter plan and ikaw meron kang St. Peter plan, if you're a good Samaritan or if you just want to extend your help, then you have an option to assign your plan to that deceased individual. Yan po yung tinatawag nating assignable. On top of that, meron po tayong kasamang mga value added insurance coverage which I mentioned previously, and meron na po siyang memorial and cremation services. So ito po yung mga benefits ng St. Peter plan. So if I were you, I suggest you open a St. Peter plan now. And if you want to get more information, Please feel free to visit www.stpeter.com.ph, and please check my social media accounts. I have social media accounts such as YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You can message me on these social media platforms. And again, for this video, please don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, and if you have some questions, just hit the comment section and I'll try to respond to your questions or concerns as long as I'm available. Again, my name is Earl Anthony Durano, and I just want to say thank you for all the support and all the love that you've been showing all throughout. And watch out for more videos. I have a lot in store for you. It's about St. Peter and some other investment portfolios. I also have some travel videos. So please feel free to like and subscribe and check the other videos as well. Again, thank you so much for all the love and support. And I'm just hoping and praying for everyone's safety, and God bless you all.